trailing the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, which is set to commence today, Friday, October 24th. The trial was adjourned on Thursday after Kanu dismissed his entire team of senior advocates. The dramatic courtroom development came as Kanu declared his intention to represent himself. The courtroom was thrown into surprise. Kanu's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, SAN, subsequently announced his withdrawal alongside other prominent senior advocates. When Justice Omotosho had invited Kanu to open his defense, he began by challenging the court's jurisdiction to continue the trial, but the judge overruled him, insisting that the case must proceed. This dramatic development follows Kanu's earlier notice listing 23 individuals, including high-profile government officials, as witnesses. Meanwhile, shortly after the trial, armed police arrested activist Omoyele Sowore outside the Federal High Court. Sowore had attended the trial of Nnamdi Kanu and was reportedly escorted by security operatives who insisted that they were acting on instructions from the Commissioner of Police.
So you said the Commissioner of Police said to arrest me?
Yes, we are not
over what?
Bring you to the office.
By force?
Is it by force? I'm not holding you.
No, you said that. So why you then have so we didn't bring a letter of invitation now.
Somebody.
That's not your business. When did you start telling people how to wear their clothes? Even though you know what you are doing is bad. So
I'm not doing anything.
No problem. Well, you know we had to stand for you when they oppress you. So if you are standing for oppression, you know the problem.
Just follow us.
Well, following Showere's arrest, police spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin held a press conference saying,
Wow. Omoyele Sowore has been arrested since yesterday anyways. I believe a lot of people are seeing this video, and Nnamdi Kanu's case are set to defend himself. And again, this issue of Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. And that, you know, the news is everywhere that the Senate wants to lead some delegate, or you want to send some delegates to the US to go and lobby with the US authority, US legislator, or US concerning this Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. You see, if they say US they want to go, it's the same thing this man is speaking from, right? I want you to please take your time. This man said they are not going to allow it, that there's information reaching them that the Senate, the Nigerian Parliament, they wants to lead some delegates to the US to go and lobby with Donald Trump against their own decisions. That this is not going to happen. They already know the truth. Whatever Nigerians like, they talk they should do, it's not going to change their positions. They already know what is going on. Now, I want you to take your time, listen to what he said on this video. Do you understand? So we'll come back and talk about it. Just watch the video to the end, and please do me a favor: like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
That Sowore was arrested for allegedly directing some of the detained free Nnamdi Kanu protesters to violate a subsisting court order that barred demonstrators from converging in certain areas of Abuja. Let's take a look.
The 13 people that were arrested previously all gave their statements, and there is a constant in all of their statements. Every one of them mentioned that one Omoyele Sowore led them into the restricted area in contravention of the court order. So it will be most unfair to charge some people to court and leave the person that led them to commit that more like their leader, the lead protester who told them and took them into the restricted area. And that's why in the spirit of fair play and to ensure that justice is served, Omoyele Sowore was arrested today, and like the others too, he wouldn't spend time with us. He wouldn't spend up to 24 hours with us. Once we wrap up the charges, he's going to be prosecuted. In fact, if everything goes right, our plan is to ensure that he is prosecuted today. He goes to court today.
All right, I'll take some reactions on X. This person wrote, so they suddenly realized their blunder. Arrested Kanu's brother and lawyer, left out the main organizer of the protest, then remembered, oh right, Showere's an activist. Now it's all damage control disguised as fairness. Classic medicine after death. Well, Saddam wrote, the Nigeria police force acted within its mandate, ensuring fairness, accountability, and balance before the law. No one is above due process, not even activists. If the goal is justice, then the police deserve commendation for maintaining law and order while allowing the legal process take its course. Finally, another ex-user wrote, so now, protesting is gradually becoming a crime. In the Nigerian state, I see that the government is really taking us for granted. What I'm very sure is that a day will come when Nigerians will pull out in millions to say enough is enough. And that's the rhetoric. I mean, it's the fact that the police had come out to bar some certain areas, and now they're saying that Sowore led those people that are detained, including Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and brother. And so that is why they've arrested Sowore at this moment. And I haven't seen if they have released him, because as you heard Benjamin Hundeyin yesterday saying that he was going to be charged and hopefully be arraigned. Ayo, your thoughts on it?
All right. So one of the things that we've decried in number of times is the intolerance of this administration to dissenting voices, and also put that side by side by the Nigerian citizens' right to peaceful protest. Recall that we'd also said that the court order had been obtained, but some of the protesters, some lawyers there had said that they didn't see any court order. And if indeed there was a court order, they had said there were some specific areas in Abuja that was not supposed to be, where protest shouldn't happen. One, Aso Villa, the National Assembly, and a few other places like that. What this demonstrates with regards to Omoyele Sowore and the other, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, is that people would then become afraid to exercise their right to peaceful protest. And in a democracy, as we keep on saying, it doesn't look good, it is not right, and we believe that as a true Democrat, the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration should not be one whereby there's a lack of respect for the constitutionally guaranteed rights of its citizens. And that's what we're calling for. If they're going to arrest Omoyele Sowore, they should arrest everybody that went out to protest, so that they would really say that they're very serious about it. Yes. I think it's very important that we keep on speaking up for this. We will not sit and watch whilst the rights of the citizens are eroded. I know that Omoyele Sowore will not sit this out, and some people have said he's going to cash out, because by the time he sues or counter sues for damages, maybe they'll hear. But I think it should be tested in court as to the right or the extent of the right of the citizens to protest. We cannot keep silent or keep the people's mouths shut. Like one of the ex-users said, if we do this, there's only as much as can push people to the wall. Let us take the example of Nepal and some other countries where the young people have become so tired and now resorted to even violent extremities to send home their points. Let us not get to that point. Let every Nigerian citizen's voice be heard, as long as it is done in the right way. They broke no laws, they were not violent. In fact, it was the police that tear gassed them very early in the morning. We mustn't have this on our watch.
So, I mean, those areas that they talked about, they touched on, including Aso Rock Villa, National Assembly. I don't think that I saw any, because I did monitor the protests. I don't think I saw them in those areas at all. They started from the Hilton and then they were all around. But I wanted to just touch on also the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is going to defend himself. I'll take a post on X and I'll come to you because I know that you want to speak. This person wrote on X, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has every right to defend himself, but it is often wiser to let a lawyer handle the battle. The courtroom is not a place for emotion, but for skill. And a good lawyer can turn rights into real results. You wanted to add something quickly on that, then I go to Rufai.
Very quickly. My confusion, which I hope the police can clarify for us, is that when the first information report was released for those 13 who were arrested, their offences included criminal conspiracy, disobedience of a lawful order, inciting disturbance, and disturbance of public peace. However, now, and there was also the issue around singing war cries. But now the main issue for Sowore is they're saying that it is contravening the court order. So the concern is that all of their offences are different, if you get what I mean. So where's the uniformity in they're being given the same treatment. However, it's not clear what the real issue is.
I think the real issue is that they came out to protest despite a court order, right? Is that what you were saying?
So what I'm saying is that the others, their main issues were inciting public disturbance, and they were singing war songs, right? However, for Sowore, it's contravening the court order. However, when it came to contravening the court order, the police repelled them. They used tear gas. They say they didn't fire bullets, but they didn't actually get to the place that would allow them to contravene the court order, is the point I was trying to make.
We're talking about due process. At the end of the day, we have to respect court orders. And this is what Sowore is fighting for as well. Your thoughts on Nnamdi Kanu defending himself?
Okay, but I'll start with Sowore first. But you also have to respect the Constitution. You have a right of peaceful, assemblage in the Constitution. Let me take you back to 2007, 2008. That was what Gani Fawemi went to court to do in the Buhari case, where it was said, and the Supreme Court said, that please, you do not have any right to stop any protest. You don't even need police permits. So you see this colonial relic called the Nigerian police force, which always thinks force is everything, and makes these allegations against the protest. I think when you're asking who disrupted public peace, it is the police that disrupted public peace. When they started firing tear gas and causing unnecessary pollution and harm to a lot of people. And the allegations, anyway, he has debunked that they didn't fire life rounds. So it's the police that are disrupting public peace in this regard. I think we'll see how this case will pan out. So Sowore is not the first time on two cases like this. As regards Nnamdi Kanu, he has the right to be able to defend himself. If that's the path is chosen, I don't think it's a wise path anyway. But if that's the path is chosen, be my guest.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how the case goes. It's going to start today, Friday. And I believe they gave him about 90 days, or he requested for 90 days to close. What a dramatic turn of events. Now, we're continuing our coverage on the recent allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. On Thursday, presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala met with the leadership of the Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria as part of the federal government's ongoing dialogue with religious leaders. The engagement aims to strengthen collaboration with faith-based institutions and counter what the presidency describes as false narratives of religious persecution in the country. The Charismatic Bishop Conference of Nigeria has membership in over 52 countries worldwide. The meeting follows similar engagements with the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. Daniel Bwala stated that the engagements became necessary following what he described as a coordinated misinformation campaign by certain U.S. congressmen and international media.
Khan had stated that they believe there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. We didn't go there to change their opinion or to change their position. We had a meeting with PFN. PFN said, we welcome you. Our preliminary position is that of our parent body, and we cannot deviate from them. We did not seek to change the opinion of PFN. So let it not be misconstrued, most respectfully, that our visit is aimed at changing the position that religious bodies have had or have held or are holding. No. Our engagement is so we can deepen dialogue. Our engagement is so we can promote religious tolerance and cohesion. Our engagement is so we can get to synergize a common front against the evil of insecurity in our society.
I think this is such a commendable move by the presidency to deepen dialogue. If you recall yesterday, we took the story about Daniel Bwala and Khan actually clarifying their statement, saying that they maintain that they didn't, trivialize the Christian genocide in Nigeria. And it's good to see that they're engaging with all the religious bodies to make sure that they're able to deepen this sort of dialogue and synergy between both of them.
Here's a little news. I was told this last week. There is a group of Nigerian legislators coming to Washington this week trying to petition the Trump administration and Congress from designating their country as a one of particular concern. They don't want this, but they're doing nothing to protect the Christian population there and to stop these radical Islamic groups from just laying waste to people on the other side of the religious divide from them. But I've spoken to Christian leaders there for decades. They will tell you they are very much afeared that Nigeria is going to turn into what Egypt and Constantinople became, which, remember, was a majority Christian country that over time you had an Islamic destruction of the faith, and that's what's happening in Nigeria in real time.
35 faith leaders are calling on President Trump to act on the deadly persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Since 2009, over 52,000 Christians have been killed, including 7,000 this year. More than 18,000 churches have been burned since 2009, and over 5 million Christians have been displaced.
What can you tell us about what's going on in Nigeria and why we've been so slow to respond?
Well, first of all, just to put this in context, if you put together all the Christians persecuted for their faith around the globe, Rachel, they do not compute to the high numbers in Nigeria. As Charlie just mentioned, 52,000 killed since 2009. That equals, there's a group called Intersociety, which does pretty good polling on the ground. They say that's about 35 Christians killed every day, okay? 3 churches are destroyed every day in this area. And look, it's a combination. In northern Nigeria, you have both Muslims and Christians being killed. But in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, it's all Christians being slaughtered. And the perpetrators here are Boko Haram, whose name we know, an Islamic terrorist group. You have these Fulani herdsmen who run around on horses or on motorcycles with machine guns. They literally mow these Christians down, these farmers who are tending to their land. It is an outrage. And back in 2017, the Trump administration designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which came with sanctions. Well, when the Biden administration came along, Anthony Blinken lifted that designation. He said these murders were being committed because of climate change. So that's why you see now Ted Cruz and 35 Christians saying, wait, we need to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's a bloodbath. It's a genocide.
It does seem like if this were happening to somebody else, you would see it on the front page of the New York Times, the front page of the Washington Post every day. Why isn't it?
Well, I think because A, it's Africa, and we just don't cover Africa the way we should, and B, for whatever reason, Islamic terrorism is just not covered. And when you look closely, 22 Islamic terrorist groups, including Boko Haram and others, have safe haven and have safe quarter in Nigeria.
This is going to be my quickest comment.
Go ahead.
What's the essence of deepening dialogue when people are still being killed? The best way to deepen dialogue is stop the killing.
That's what we highlighted yesterday. That is exactly what we said yesterday.
Absolutely. I commend the government for now going to engage the Christian leaders. I think it's important. The good thing about this, whilst they are strategizing, is actually here. One of the things, if you want to know what's happening, listen to the primary stakeholders. And that's what they're doing. And that's why I'm glad that finally, and I don't think we should have gone to this point where now that we want to be listed as a country of concern, we now want to go all the time that the media in Nigeria was reporting these incidents. Why didn't they take this effort? Perhaps we would not even be where we are now, trying to lobby the US to say that we're not a country of particular concern. But better late than never. So great that he's doing this, but most importantly is that can they take the feedback? And I pray that these bishops are going to be honest with them. Let them, because I can hear them say, oh, we're all good. Say the truth. What is really happening to your people? And then let the government take the feedback and work on it. That's what Nigerians want to see.
Fantastic. More on security. Meanwhile, Niger State Governor Umar Bago has declared a state of war against persistent bandit attacks, announcing his administration will not negotiate with criminals or pay ransom, as he believes paying ransom turns kidnapping into a business venture. Instead, he has called on residents to take up arms and defend themselves and their property. The announcement was made by the governor's special advisor on print media, Aisha Wakaso, following the governor's condolence visit to the recently attacked local government areas of the state, eliciting reactions. And I'll take some posts on X. This person wrote, Governor Bago, this statement is an admission of failure, not leadership. You are shielded by the full power of the state, the police, the army, the DSS, and civil defense. Yet you tell helpless citizens to defend themselves. Your duty is to protect them, not abandon them. If the government can't guarantee the safety of its people, then it has forfeited its moral right to lead. Do the honorable thing, fix the system, or step aside for someone who will. Tolu wrote, well, every ransom paid fuels a parallel economy for criminals. By refusing to negotiate, the government is cutting off their business model. Now it's on them to actually combat and arrest the bandits. This is it. I mean, the huge conversation about whether or not we should be permitted to arm ourselves or carry guns has been a debate for a while. I mean, in the United States where it's allowed, we've seen, I wouldn't say that's the reason for the killings. But what are your thoughts with what Bago has stated now about?
There's so many different dimensions, yes. I mean, gosh, the first is that he's not the first leader to call for self-help. However, we need to be careful about this narrative around self-help, because when we see self-help happen, we've seen so many instances. For example, there was a group of vigilantes in Edo State. You remember those hunters that were killed? There are several groups that come up and call themselves self-styled vigilantes, and there have been several skirmishes and instances that have happened, and lives have been lost. So I think we need to be very careful in telling people to help themselves in instances of insecurity, because it can go horribly wrong. Having said that, we do know that collecting payment of ransom is illegal in Nigeria. But if we are saying it is illegal, then what is the support we are giving to our citizens to ensure that if these instances happen, that citizens are retrieved alive and in a good state? So first of all, if the kidnapping is said to be happening, then what are we doing to be able to recover and protect our people? But beyond that, the kidnapping should not even be happening. So how are the states being secured? We've said it several times that the governors are not helpless. Fine, they don't have the federal might to be able to discharge officers to the various areas, but what they do have, and I know we often take it lightly, but we can't underplay the role of non-kinetic strategies. For example, we just saw the story you took of Daniel Bola engaging in conversation, deepening engagement and conversations with various stakeholders in the state. I think a lot of that needs to happen, because beyond the narrative of terrorism, banditry, we know that there's a lot of communal clashes and communal conflicts that's happening as well. However, beyond that, I think Farmer Bago, who we love so much, and the rest of the governors of Nigeria need to start getting more creative with regards to how they're going to deal with insecurity in their states. Yesterday, we saw them at the NEC meeting talking about police reform and reform in police training and so forth. But we're not seeing enough pressure with regards to state police, because it seems this is where the conversation needs to go. However, each time it's brought to the agenda, for some strange reason, it's pushed to the back burner. Oh yes, people are worried that governors will become mini emperors and all of that. But at this juncture that we've reached, I think it's far more important for us to protect lives and property first, and then figure out how to strengthen our institutions to ensure that we don't create some form of mini authoritarianism through the creation of state police.
Did you mention the situation in Edo State where there was a young girl who was kidnapped as well? Did you just say that?
I mentioned that group of self-proclaimed vigilantes who had killed the hunters at the beginning of the year.
I believe that Bago has said that he's going to, initiate about, I believe, 10,000, security personnel, and that's a measure that he wants to take. But, speaking about insecurity, it's just becoming, and I wanted to mention the Edo State situation, because there's a video of the mother who's still pleading for the release of her daughter. And I just wanted to highlight that I am following up on that story, and I believe that the security forces are also doing their best to try to get her out of the really sad situation in Edo State.
Real quickly, I disagree with Farmer Bago.
Yes,
what he said
about arms, taking up
what
arms.
he says is in contravention of the Constitution.
Yes.
Section 14 subsection 2 says the state must provide security for those that have donated their sovereign to the state. It is the state's responsibility. If you say people should arm themselves, then you are abdicating the role of the sovereignty. Please, the state should do their work. That's why we pay taxes, and that's why we do everything we can to submit our sovereignty to the state.
Many have argued that is another form of chaos if we all have to ourselves. I'm American, so it's kind of
America has laws, and that's why we always emphasize respect for the rule of law at all levels, because in a nation where we're still struggling with that, it will be very difficult to legislate on that. I don't think we're ready for that.
Even with their laws, look at everything going wrong with gun violence.
As strong as their laws are, look at that. Nigeria is not ready.
Lot of gun violence in the United States.
To start with, you see the problem where we are having in this country. Since this issue of Christian genocide, Ted Cruz raises this alarm of Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. There has been a lot of debate, a lot of talk. That now look at where we are. It has gotten to this stage where they are now having meetings with different Christian organizations, different body, just to paint a perspective that it is not Christian genocide going on in Nigeria because of what Ted Cruz said. This is because the problem is, after this issue, this alarm has been raised, what has government, the Nigeria government, done to solving the problem? Have they stopped it? No, it has not stopped. They have not stopped it. Is this killing still going on in Nigeria? Yes, the killing is still going on in Nigeria. Since they want this issue started, Ted Cruz raises this alarm. Only God knows how many Christians has been killed as well. Now they want to go to the US, like the Senate president. This one, you listen to what he said. Now, the reason of Nigeria going to the US to lobby with Donald Trump because of the sanction, because they do not want the sanction, and if the US decide, they take their decisions based on what they stand for now, is going to affect Nigeria. The aims that we are receiving from the US, that is what of the concern to the Senate president and the Nigeria government. That is their concern. No, the concern is not going to the US or Daniel Bwala is going everywhere holding meeting with Christians Association. It is not to stop the Christian genocide. It's not to stop the killing going on in Nigeria. This is just to paint to tell the US that it is not Christian Association has agreed that it is not Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. But hey, the killing, is it going on in Nigeria? Yes, it is going on. Look at the figures they are quoting for you. Ask Daniel Bwala and Nigeria government to give you this figure, their own figure. What is going on in Nigeria? Now you want to list some delegates. You said they do not have information or what is going on in Nigeria. That's the essence of the National Assembly Senate President wants to send some delegates to the US because the US do not have the right information what is going on in Nigeria. Is the same person now, the same Nigeria, is telling you what you are planning to do. Who's told him? Who told him what the Nigeria National Assembly is planning to do? Planning to lead some delegates to the US to lobby. Who told him? Who told them? Because the information is on the internet. Everything happening in Nigeria is on the internet. It's just because the way you listen to see what is happening in the US is the same thing. So you can't hide it again. They are aware. These Christians, all the bishops, the priests in the north, they are now they cry. They have been crying every time. They have members everywhere. They seen all those videos. They take records. They take records of those things. So now you don't need to lobby. You don't need to go stop the problem. If not till 2 years time, 3 years time, there's no issue of killing. That one you already told them. They understand that okay, it's going to sanction you. They'll remove it. Not in 2 years time. There's no killing in Nigeria. There's no this. There's no that. Do you understand? Anyways, this is Nigeria for you. And the issue of Sowore had been arrested. You see, this is all this injustice. What we are saying, all this problem today. I just played that the problem coming. I've said it before. The problem coming, what is coming, is bigger than what we are seeing today in Tinubu's government. And I pray the problem did not even come at all. And if it comes, it's going to be Tinubu himself cannot even take it because what they are doing now, Tinubu is scaring away people not to protest. There was a court. There was the court, this Supreme Court, in 2027 and 2012, 2007 and 2012, when all these people. The protests we had in this country. So there was a court. These people did not go to the court. The Inspector General of Police did not go to the court then for stop the protesters or to restrict the protesters or where to protest, not to protest. Why everything is under Tinubu? Because Tinubu is scared. Tinubu do not want to leave office. All that want to leave office no matter whatever happens. If he comes, he take it by it, they are ready to take it like that. But Tinubu, be who he is, he's scared in every areas. He doesn't want to leave office, yet he doesn't want to solve the problems. He wants to remain. He wants to send some wrong signal to the Nigerian people. It will get to a time we will not take it. Nepal is not far from Nigeria. Do you understand? What happened in Nepal is not far from Nigeria. It should not happen because there was a court in this Supreme Court. There was this Supreme Court in 2012 when Tinubu led protests against Jonathan. All these people came out. There was a court. Who was Inspector General of Police? They never went to the court to seek and just to restrict these protesters. Do you understand? So gradually, the problem these people define, this government define, they're not seeing now. They will see, especially if Tinubu forced himself on us in 2027 to be the president. Then Nepal, you know, say Nepal is not far from Nigeria. Do you understand? Because Tinubu, I do not see him facing this problem rather than causing more problems. It will get to a time when people will not take it again. Do you understand? So that is just it. In fact, What do you think? Now this is damage control, arresting Sowore, because a lot of people has been speaking about this. What is this injustice? What is this hatred? What is this tribalistic people? What you arrested these people who came to protest. You did not arrest the protest, the mastermind of the protest, who organized, the organizer of the protest rather. You did not arrest the person because a lot of talk. Now you not send Sowore to go and arrest after a lot of negotiation. Sowore come, let's pretend we have arrested you. This and this and that is what we are going to do. Then before you know, they will not release Sowore. You now say Sowore was able to bail himself or this thing. There's no allegation, things like that. We are used to all this. Do you understand? So after a lot of talk, he come pretend as if we arrested you. Let's pull out this information. Yeah, we arrested this and that for fairness. Fairness for what? What stopped you not to arrest the Sowore at that time? If say police tear gas the protesters, restrict them, they didn't go to the restricted area. The police were there, they pursued them away from there. Yet you still want to arrest them. You see? Anyways, please share this video. What these people are looking for, they will surely see in this country. Please share this video and subscribe for more.